All right, guys. Again, thank you for coming today. Hope everybody is having fun learning Tableau and learning a little bit about what Tableau is. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. So just a reminder, if you aren't able to attend one of the sessions, all of the recordings are uploaded here. We have the first session here, the first office hours, and then the second session here as well, and then goes into some additional resources that are going to be kind of changing and dynamic as we go through these series. And then a little bit different that I sent out after this session was a list of questions. So if you remember right, it looks like somebody just asked, where can I find recordings? So the screen I am showing, I literally just showed, they are right here. So if you go ahead, click on here, watch video, you'll be able to get to the recording directly from here, and it'll load it right here for you. It is on YouTube as well, so if you would like the direct URL links, feel free to shoot me an email and I can provide those to you, but you should be able to access them through here. But again, if you can't and you're running into any issues, please just let me know. So guys, everybody, these are the questions that I put together after the call last week, because if you remember, the topics that we covered were filtering, interactive filters, parameters, calculations, and getting started with maps. So these are just, some high-level questions of what you can do with calculations, understanding the inner workings, and understanding what you're doing. So these are, there's no test here, obviously, because I put the answers here, but I just wanted to make sure that, it gets you thinking about the right things. You're coming from the correct angle in regards to, thinking about filters and things along those lines. So hopefully you guys found these questions valuable. We will be providing something similar after next week's call as well. So that is really all I had to talk about today. So if anybody has any questions, please enter them into the chat, or if anybody kind of wants to talk about what they're doing with Tableau, or if anybody is already working on the Viz contest materials, please feel free to raise your hand, and we can if you want to share what you've already done, that's awesome too. But this again is your session designated for you specifically on the office hours. So I'm gonna just wait, and I'll monitor the chat here for a second to see what type of questions come through. I want to create a row ID for all the records I have in my Excel. How do I create it in Tableau? If you don't mind, just send me a little more context to that question, and I can see what you're trying to do. I just don't quite understand. Okay, let's see here. All right, so that's a great question. So I'm going to put, I do not have data available to show an example in regards to creating a unique ID in Tableau, but I'm going to send a link to the chat right now about how you can do that. We recommend doing it at the data source level, but if not, there are ways you can do it within Tableau, and this community thread should help you answer that question. I would show you, but don't have the... All right, we have a couple questions on how to navigate that page that I showed in the beginning. So I'm going to pull that up again and kind of walk you through the inner workings of it and what exactly is here. So give me 1 second here. All right, so this is the page. So this is created through LinkedIn. So again, just a reminder to anybody on the call, if you do not have LinkedIn, you can get there through this. So all of the sessions are loaded here, the recordings, the recordings, the recordings. So all of the recordings are going to be building up right here on the front, and then down here are just some supplemental resources. So when you click on the link that I sent out in this email, right here, sessions, recordings, and materials, click that. It'll link you directly to this page. Oops, hopefully it's safe. Come on, never loads when you're sharing your screen. And then down here are the Biz Contest details. So to the person who answered that question, if you haven't been able to make any of the previous calls, totally fine. You'll be able to find all the recordings here, and then all of the future recordings will be uploaded here as well. And then this is where just some supplemental materials are going to be uploaded based on the content that is being presented. Stefanos, great question. So is there a way I can have 2 percentages for 2 different years broken off by month as line graphs to calculate the differences in those percentages? So just make sure I understand correctly. You have, let's say, 2015, 2016. You have 50% in 2015, 60% in 2016. You want to calculate the difference between those percentages, is that correct? Adrian, absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and send this over to you right now. Sent. So you should have that in your inbox shortly. We had a question about the data in regards to the contest. Since I did send a sample, you definitely do not have to use that sample data. That was just kind of a suggestion to give you an idea of what I'm looking at, but you're free to use whatever you would like. You know, use your creativity. Like I shared in the first session, you know, ultimately for us and for you, you're going to get the most value from picking something that you care about. So find a data set or find something that's interesting to you and go with it, giving you as much flexibility as you can. So you definitely do not have to use what I provided. And if you have any issues getting the data, feel free to reach out to me. I've had a few folks who couldn't download the data, couldn't get it in the right format. Happy to help out any way I can in regards to that. That's a great question. I'm not sure off the top of my head, to be completely honest with you. I'm going to do some research after this call in regards to that question, and then I will follow up with you later this afternoon with a sample solution within the Superstore dataset. Just pose a question to the group. Are people finding, the way that I'm outlining the content on the LinkedIn page accessible? Are you guys finding the recordings, finding the materials, downloading the data correctly for the Viz contest, getting started, et cetera? Claudia, is there anything specific you're looking to learn about calculated fields? I know we covered a lot of those in this last week's or on Monday's session. Is there any specific question or anything you're specifically trying to do in regards to that, or do you want me to just kind of cover, the high-level generics about what they are, how they're functioning, and what value they're going to bring to you? And somebody just asked if I can put the link to the site with all the recordings into the chat, and absolutely, I'm pulling this right now, and I will send this into the Q&A. All right. Sheila, there's no video. I have nothing to show at the moment, so you're not missing anything. Right now, All right, had a question about sorting. Great question. I'm going to put a resource in the chat. There's many different ways you can do sorting in regards to what exactly you're trying to do. So just put in there, you can sort either on the complete category, you can sort by the subcategory itself, or if you want to sort on specific fields, you can do that simply by changing. And I'm actually going to pull up Tableau here, connect to Superstore and get this going. So just give me 1 second. All right. Subcategory. Sales. All right, so I'm going to pull up my screen here. So question about sorting. So if you want to sort, this is obviously how you do a normal sort. If you click on this icon right here and you click sort, this will give you specific options to sort on exactly what you want. So if you want to sort on the field, you can change it here. You can sort based on the aggregation if you would like, or you can sort on the data source order. So it really gives you a lot of customizations specifically in regards to sorting. I know this is something that took me a little bit to wrap my head around in the beginning because I would sort on the major category itself, like you mentioned in your question, but really being able to filter down is really helpful. So really dynamic when it comes to sorting. It just really depends on what exactly you're trying to get out of it. Anything else specifically high level, please? All right, Claudia, thank you for clarifying. So I'm going to talk a little bit about calculated fields in Tableau, so just give me a second. And Claudia, one thing that I can do after this call as well is the questions that I sent over on Monday were very high level in regards to calculated fields, but I have about 2 pages of notes and questions specifically on calculated fields that I'll talk about different type of calculations, some business scenarios on when you would use calculations. It'll also specifically talk about how you can tie what you did in Excel to Tableau in regards to calculations, VLOOKUP, so I'll make sure to share that with you after. Not just you, but I'll share with everybody who's been a part of any one of these sessions. So, calculated fields are really a way to add dynamic data to your visualization. You can really, kind of show where things are changing, where things are improving, what is going on, but there are so many different types. And I'm not going to go into each, but even if you look under our calculated fields section within our free training videos on our website, this will kind of give you an idea of all the possibilities, right? Aggregations, date calculations, logic calculations, so it really depends on exactly what you're trying to do. And these are super short videos, 3 to 4 minutes long. What I recommend is either, coming out here, watching a few, figuring out exactly what's important to you, or just think to yourself, what type of data am I looking for? Am I looking for the difference here? Am I looking for, similar to the question earlier, calculating the difference between the two, different areas. So, really think about it, and there's a lot of different options out there on what you're trying to do. So calculations are a really dynamic and powerful part of Tableau. Question from somebody, have I gotten any submissions for the contest yet? I have not gotten any submissions yet. Obviously, there's a ton of time to submit everything. I think you have until July 16th. So feel free to correct me if I'm wrong off the top of my head there. I've had a lot of conversations with people in regards to what they are doing, and specifically on the contest itself. If you would like to set up a half-an-hour session with Claire, who spoke on the call last week, and myself, to kind of help you through challenges and help you get to that next level, happy to do that and available to do that. So hopefully everybody has my email, and feel free to request that type of session, and I can get that on the calendar for you. Hi, Rajesh. You missed the Monday session. So if you go to the chat piece of this WebEx right now, the link to all of the recordings is the first link that I entered in there. So you should be able to get directly to all of the recordings on there. And if not, I will make sure to send these out to everybody after this, because it does appear that some have missed it. All right, guys. Well, I'm not seeing any questions here, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up today. But just so you guys know, this is how these calls, Stefanos, absolutely. Yeah, I'll make sure to send those out again to make sure that you have those. But, again, these sessions are, for the open Q&A. I know a lot of you are coming to me questions, during the week, and that's very appreciative. But please don't hesitate to reach out to me directly if I can help you with your vizzes for the contest or something specifically internally with your company. We do have an NDA on file, so you are able to share with me what you're doing or talk about it if you feel better about that. So be open to that. So giving you guys a half an hour back in your day today. Thanks again for your time. And please be on the lookout for an email from me shortly, just to reiterate all of the recordings, all of the follow-up, and all the questions, just to make sure that everybody has all that. So have a great day. Thank you.